Hey everybody, this is Derek at LuckyVitamin coming to you from our beautiful headquarters in sunny Pennsylvania. It's great to have so many people joining us for the LuckyVitamin Wellness webinar about a new doctor-formulated multivitamin line presented by our friends at MegaFood. Thank you all very much. Today we are joined by Abigail McShinsky. Abigail is the Training and Education Specialist at MegaFood. She has been with MegaFood for over 5 years, though she has been interested in natural health since she was a young girl, inspired by her mother's love of botanicals. Abigail is currently an herbalist apprentice and is fascinated with the ways in which plants around us can help shape our health. She enjoys sharing that passion with others and educating those who may be starting their own health journey about natural wellness. So before I turn things over to Abigail, just a few quick reminders. This webinar is being recorded and will be emailed to you after its conclusion. If you have any questions during today's webinar, please enter them into the question box on your screen. Also, please stay tuned for a special offer from LuckyVitamin on MegaFood products at the end of the webinar. Thank you again, and I'm going to turn this over to Abigail now. Abigail, take it away.
Thank you so much, Derek. Let me go ahead and just get my presentation up here. And while I do so, thank you guys so much for attending. I'm incredibly excited to talk to you guys today about a new multivitamin line that we're offering, as well as some current research, nutritional research that we'll be able to dive through, and also introduce you to an amazing doctor that we worked with to create this line. So before we talk about our multivitamins, about the new products that you guys are here to learn about, I want to talk about why taking a multivitamin is such a smart idea. So there are gaps in our diet. In July of 2015, so just last summer, the Center for Disease Control put out some clinical research showing how Americans do not consume enough of the right foods to get all the essential nutrients we need to maintain good health. We're currently at MegaFood very interested in this thing called nutritional poverty and really helping to address that worldwide because we have an excess of calories but a deficiency in nutrition. And this study put out by the Center for Disease Control really demonstrated this. It showed that 15 million people have low serum vitamin C levels. It showed that 18 million are deficient in vitamin B12. 30 million are deficient in B6. Now, if I put this in for some perspective for you, the population of the U.S. is around 300 million. So that is equivalent to 1 out of 10 people in our country being deficient in this crucial vitamin. And we'll talk more about B6 on the next slide. And this may come as no surprise, but we have a very huge insufficiency in this nation of vitamin D, especially those individuals living in the northern states like me up here in New Hampshire. We've had a beautiful weekend, but we're in the dark for most of the winter, so vitamin D insufficiency is a big concern, really the nation over. Even those in Florida still aren't getting enough vitamin D. So the standard American diet is definitely lacking, and there's gaps that need to be filled. A common objection to this is, especially among those of you who are shopping on LuckyVitamin or visiting local health food stores or interested in learning more about your health, you may say, well, that's not me. My diet isn't standard, or I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, I eat lots of whole grains, I stay away from processed sugar. But unfortunately, even the healthiest diet has gaps. So we mentioned B6 on that last slide, and 30 million Americans are deficient in vitamin B6. So the recommended minimum, the recommended daily allowance for vitamin B6 in the diet is 1.5 milligrams, 1.5 milligrams. Shockingly, many experts actually recommend an optimal daily intake of 20 to 30 milligrams per day. So this is a huge disparity between the recommended minimum and the ideal amount for optimal health. But just to get that minimum amount, that 1.5 milligrams of vitamin B6, you would have to eat one of these following bulleted foods in a day. And these are foods that are considered rich in vitamin B6. So that's 2.5 bananas. That might not be too bad. If you're making smoothies, that could be doable. 12 tablespoons of roasted sunflower seeds. That's quite a bit. 5 ounces of beef liver. Not something that many people are working into their daily diets. Nearly 4 cups of cooked lentils. 3.5 cups of avocado, or my personal favorite, 20 tablespoons of peanut butter. That's a really huge amount. So even if you have a great diet, it can be hard to meet all of your daily nutritional needs by eating, even if you're eating this vast variety of foods, it's just hard to get this nutrition. So what happens if you don't get enough B6, for instance? If you're one of the 30 million people with B6 deficiency? Well, according to Dr. Low Dog, who we'll meet in a little bit, signs of deficiency include low levels of iron in the body if you don't have enough B6, a burning sensation in the mouth, cracking skin at the corners of the mouth, tingling and numbness in the feet, fatigue, weakness, irritability, a decrease in cognitive function, dizziness, and others. So these are signs of B6 deficiency, and you can see that it's really vital to the proper functioning of the body. In fact, B6 is necessary for healthy metabolism, for nervous system health, really important to support optimal energy levels as well. And this is just one nutrient of the many that we need to get in our diet. So according to Dr. Low Dog, you see this quote here down at the bottom, she believes the best way to ensure you're getting all your essential vitamins is to take a basic multivitamin and mineral supplement. So before we dive into each of these products, this is our answer to that nutritional crisis that we're facing, is providing a solid multivitamin collection that's going to fill those nutritional gaps. But before we talk about each formula in general, I want to introduce you to Dr. Low Dog. She's the doctor that we worked with in light of that CDC information and other nutritional research to craft this line of products. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Dr. Tyrone Low Dog, she's an amazing force within the natural health industry and the natural health care world as a whole. She has a huge history with us. Her exploration of natural medicine began more than 35 years ago. She studied midwifery. She became an herbalist. In fact, had her own herbal practice and company. She became a massage therapist. She even studied deeply in martial arts as a way of really unifying body and mind. And all this before she earned her medical degree as an adult from the University of New Mexico School of Medicine. She's an internationally recognized expert on dietary supplements, herbal medicine, women's health, and integrative medicine. Some of you may have seen her even on Dr. Oz, where she's a recurring guest on his show. She has been involved in addressing our current state of health through many avenues, including chairing 2 committees on dietary supplements for the U.S. Pharmacopoeia, and she was also appointed by President Bill Clinton as an advisor on integrative medicine, both for the White House and the National Institutes of Health. In addition to all this work, she's published 5 books, her latest being Fortify Your Life, which was a big influence of the line that we're about to talk about. She's also authored 45 peer-reviewed articles, and she's written for several textbooks. So she's an incredibly busy woman. We're deeply honored that she's taken the time to work with us, and really thrilled that she's using this vast base of knowledge that she has to make positive change within the natural health community and share that with all of us so we can make better health decisions. So with Dr. Low Dog's help and the help of her book, Fortify Your Life, we decided to come up with a multivitamin line that's going to address the specific nutrient concerns that we talked about, as well as many others that were covered in the latest nutritional research. So we wanted to create a line that was very pertinent to every individual, every one of you here on the phone, that's going to take into consideration what's very difficult to get in our modern diet and fill in any of those gaps in the diet so you can, kick it to the curb. So we've created this line of 8 new products. They provide up-to-date potencies and, more importantly, specific nutrient forms of vitamins and minerals. And we'll talk about that more in an upcoming slide. And these products are for individuals throughout varying phases of life. We have specific for men, for women, and different age brackets as well. What really sets MegaFood apart is our use of food state nutrients. So these are whole food complexes, actual nutrients that we create in our own vertically integrated facility that we use to deliver essential vitamins and minerals in a variety of foods, and we source all of these from U.S. farm partners. Something else I'm really proud about with this line is that each serving provides at least 70% of the recommended daily value for essential nutrients. You may be thinking, why not 100%? Well, we're working with whole food and working with our food state nutrients. They take up a lot of space. So to be able to fit so much nutrition, 70% of the recommended daily value in 2 tablets a day, is a really impressive feat for a whole food supplementation. Also, we feel that supplements are just that. They're designed to supplement the diet. So of course we want to encourage all of our consumers to be eating a healthful diet and be getting the bulk of their nutrition from the foods that they do eat. You'll also notice these seals down at the bottom. You can find them on every single one of our bottles, indicating the purity of the product. We're utilizing farm fresh foods in these. All of the product formulations are vegetarian. They are all tested free of dairy and soy, as well as herbicides and pesticides, so you can be very comfortable that the product you're getting has no herbicide or pesticide residue in it whatsoever. They're all non-GMO, and we work with the NSF for gluten-free certification as well. So a really pure line of products that many individuals, even with food allergies, are going to be able to benefit from. Now, something that all of our formulations feature in this line are 2 tablet serving size. This is a really great compromise between providing as much nutrition as we could and still keeping it convenient. It's not uncommon to see some whole food supplements on the market have up to 6 tablets a day, and while you're getting a really great base of nutrition there, it's a little unrealistic to get all of those in within a day. It's easy to forget them if you're spacing them out. So we wanted to fit as much nutrition in the smallest amount of tablets that we could. So 2 tablets is a serving size for all of these products, with the exception of our Multi for Healthy Bone, which we'll talk about at the end. As mentioned, the vitamins and minerals that we're delivering are through whole food, food state nutrients as we call them. And you'll see here on the supplement facts label that we've listed the nutrient forms that you're getting. This is a new step for MegaFood. We've always listed the foods that are delivering the nutrients, but not the nutrient form. And because the nutrient form plays a big role in how it's utilized in your body, we think it's really important that you're able to know exactly what form it is that you're getting in your multivitamin. And this becomes really important when you start talking about the B vitamins. Many of you may be familiar with the concerns around methylation. People are seeking out methylated forms of vitamin B12 and folate. They're also looking for the active forms of B2 and B6. And for those of you that are not familiar with that concern, we'll talk about it more on the next slide. But we're very happy to be able to include these methylated forms and the active forms of the B vitamins in this product. And now when you're scanning the supplement facts, you can make sure you're getting the form that's best used for you. Something else we've also included in this line is vitamin K2 in addition to our K1. This is a 1-to-1 ratio. So if you look at the supplement panel facts here, you'll see that 80 micrograms of vitamin K is being delivered. So you'll be getting 40 of K1 and 40 of K2. Choline is also something that's brand new for us to deliver in a multivitamin. And it's something that Dr. Low Dog talks about in great detail in her book, Fortify Your Life. This is a member of the B vitamin family, and it's often missing in the diet and also most multivitamins that are on the market. Choline is incredibly important for women in their childbearing years, especially women who are pregnant. It's essential for all of us for many physiological processes, including maintaining the health of our cognitive, liver, endocrine, and nerve function. And the recent population data really demonstrates that this is a common deficiency for many of us, so it's important that it's included in these multivitamins. You'll also notice that these are, by and large, herb-free formulations. We have 2 multis that do contain some herbal ingredients, only included at efficacious levels, because we really wanted to focus on nutrition. And we also know that not everybody responds well or likes to utilize herbs in their multivitamin. So that's something else we focused on with this product line as well. So I mentioned those methylated B vitamins. Let's take a look at why that matters. So what's this deal with methylation? If you've heard this buzzword, it's floating around a lot, and an increasing number of individuals are looking for the methylated forms of B vitamins. Why is that? Well, there's a lot of easily accessible genetic testing that's allowing us to really take charge of our health nowadays. Companies like 23andMe make it very inexpensive to do a cheap swab and really encode your genetic material so they're able to make specific dietary and lifestyle changes that are going to address your body's needs based on your genetic material. Doctors are often recommending this nowadays as well to get to the root of certain disorders and concerns and really customize their medicine and the nutrition that they're recommending to the individual. So because of this easily accessible information that we just didn't have access to before, people are identifying one or both of a specific set of genetic mutations that doesn't allow individuals to methylate the forms of B vitamins. So you may see on the market, if you take a vitamin B12 off the shelf somewhere, it often recommends, or often says in the label, cyanocobalamin. And that is a form that the body needs to convert into a methylated form, methylcobalamin, to be able to utilize. So if you have this genetic mutation, you're simply not able to make that conversion, and that supplemental B12 isn't going to benefit you whatsoever. So it's very common to start seeing insufficiencies and deficiencies in this population with the genetic mutation. So those individuals are advised to look for supplements that are made of the methylated forms of folate and vitamin B12. The numbers on this are staggering to me. It's estimated that a minimum of 40% of the population are a carrier of one or more of these mutations. I've seen estimates up to 60%. So it's likely that half of us that are on this call today aren't able to methylate these B vitamins, and we may or may not know that. So the smart money says, let's take a product that has the methylated forms. Whether we can do it or not, we don't have to. It's already in an active form our bodies can use, and we can save that energy, for something else. So smart money says take a methylated form, and that's exactly what we're offering in this line of products. So form really matters. It's not just about the delivery, but the form of the nutrient is really important to your health as well. So we said there's 8 products in this line. Let's go ahead and take a look at the individual formulations. Now, all of these are going to benefit from the features that we discussed a couple of slides ago. 2 tablets a day, we're featuring the K2, the choline, but then we're going to target these formulations for specific demographics because we have varying nutritional needs as we age, as we progress through life. Our dietary and nutritional needs are going to change or be altered slightly, and we want to take that into consideration when we're looking for a multivitamin. So for women in their childbearing years, under the age of 40, we have Multi for Women. Now, a feature of this product, in addition to all those we discussed, is that it's going to feature 15 milligrams of our food state iron to help replenish the iron that's lost during the monthly cycle. So this is a really great benefit if you have heavy cycles, irregular cycles. Even those with light regular cycles, it's really going to be beneficial to get a consistent amount of iron. And some people shy away from iron supplementation with good reason. Iron can be very, very harsh on the system, hard to digest. It can be constipating. We've found that with our food state delivery, delivering this in a food, it's incredibly gentle on the stomach. Even our iron support product, Blood Builder, which is really just iron, has been taken on an empty stomach by many, many individuals with great results. So a very gentle form of iron in here as well. So if that's been a concern for you, it's something that you won't have to have, you have to shy away from with this line. We're also delivering 100% or more of all 8 of our food state B vitamins. This is important for energy production. Tends to be a big concern for many individuals throughout life, but also especially for those under 40. They have young children, work busy schedules, maintaining that energy and nervous system health is very vital. We have our Multi for Women 40 and over. A great feature of this formulation is that it contains 1,000 IUs of our food state vitamin D to support healthy bones and mood. And given that 66 million Americans are insufficient in this nutrient, it's really important that we get a hefty dose of it in there to support healthy bones and mood. Now, Multi for Women 55 plus is going to be a little different from the 2 others. Still a 2-a-day formulation, but it's going to be free of iron and vitamin K. And iron for women over 55, especially those that have transitioned through menopause, they're no longer losing blood through monthly cycles, so they're not recommended to take iron. Really the only way we deplete it is through blood loss. So when you don't have that monthly cycle, the need for iron intake is going to be much lower. So we've made this an iron-free product. We've also made it vitamin K-free. Vitamin K is often contraindicated with very common pharmaceutical medications. And we really wanted this product to benefit as many individuals as possible. We really feel that everyone should be on a foundational multivitamin, and we don't want the use of common prescription medications to hinder that. So we opted to omit vitamin K from this formulation so that as many people as possible are able to utilize it. And then you'll also see that we do have a botanical ingredient in here. We have green tea leaf extract in here to support breast health. This would be considered decaf, so if you have any caffeine sensitivities, not to worry, this doesn't contribute caffeine to the daily diet. You'll also notice down here at the bottom it says calcium and magnesium free, and that may be something new that you haven't seen in the multivitamin before, but all of our multis are going to be free of calcium and magnesium. Dr. Low Dog really recommends taking this away from your multivitamin. We'll talk about it when we get to multi for healthy bone, but ideally taking it a couple hours away from your multivitamin so you're not interfering with the absorption of those important nutrients, and the reason that you're taking the multi in the first place. Also, it's really difficult to get minerals in high quantities in a multivitamin when you're working with food. I mentioned that they're physically larger than like their isolated counterparts. So we've never been able to include high amounts of calcium and magnesium in our multivitamin formulations. So it really made sense to offer a standalone product for those that are interested in supporting bone health in a greater way and to allow them to absorb as much nutrition from the multi as possible. So for that reason, all of them are going to be calcium and magnesium free. All right, we'll move on to our doctor-formulated multis for men. You can see this mirrors the women's that we just discussed. The multi for men, those under 40, has 100% or more of 7 food-safe B vitamins. You may think, wait, you just said 8 on the last slide. That's because men are going to have a lesser requirement for folate than women do, especially those in their reproductive years. So 7 of them are going to be 100% or more folate. We're still certainly supplying it, but just not in as high a potency for men. And this is going to support healthy energy levels, cardiovascular function, everything the B vitamins support, right? Nervous system health, cognition. And all of our men's products are going to be iron-free. So it's not recommended for men to supplement with their diet with iron unless they're otherwise recommended or under the supervision of a qualified healthcare practitioner. Because they're not losing blood through a monthly cycle, it's really uncommon for them to need to supplement with it, especially if they're getting iron in through the diet. Our multi for men 40 plus features our food state zinc and B vitamins and higher levels to support normal brain function. And remember all those benefits we talked about with the methylated B vitamin forms, the choline, the K2, all of these features apply to all of the products. And then multi for men 55 plus, very similar to the women's. This contains zinc and pumpkin seed extract is the botanical we're using to support healthy prostate function. Now, in addition to being free of iron and vitamin K for the same reasons that we've discussed, this product is also free of iodine because it's often contraindicated for men over the age of 55. And again, we want as many people to benefit from this formulation as possible. And then, of course, you'll see that these are free of calcium and magnesium as well. All right, the last 2 products are the ones I'm most excited to talk to you guys about today. It's just something pretty new for MegaFood. We've had some bone products before, but Multi for Healthy Bone, I think, really sets it apart. This is going to deliver 1,000 IUs of vitamin D, 500 milligrams of calcium, 300 milligrams of magnesium, as well as other vitamins and nutrients that are essential for bone health. We often refer to those nutrients as the traffic cop nutrients. Vitamin C, K, boron, potassium. Their job is going to really be to get that calcium and magnesium into the bones where it needs to go. It's going to be the traffic cops, ushering them the right way and getting them to the place that they need to be. So a really comprehensive bone support product, far more than just calcium and magnesium alone. And it is 4 tablets daily. This can be taken all at once. Ideally, you maybe would take 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, but when you're looking to space this with your multivitamin, that can certainly be challenging. So taking all 4 tablets at once is totally fine, and we want to take it at least 2 hours apart from that multivitamin. Ideally, we'll take it with a meal. Then we have our Baby and Me 2. So this is a fantastic new prenatal and postnatal multivitamin option. So we've had our original Baby and Me product, it's a 4-a-day, and then Baby and Me herb-free. Baby and Me 2 is going to replace that herb-free option, but not to fear. So we'll now have the Baby and Me, the original 4-a-day formulation, and this Baby and Me 2. Now this delivers 600 micrograms of folate to support healthy development of the child. And you may be saying, wait, 600 micrograms of folate, this is a prenatal, isn't the recommendation 800? You're absolutely right, 800 would be the recommendation, 800 micrograms for those that are pregnant. However, again, this is a supplement. It is designed to augment what the consumer or what the individual is getting in the daily diet. And it's to be expected that you're going to be getting at least 200 micrograms from the foods that you eat, especially when you consider food fortification. This is something Dr. Low Dog touches upon in her book. But B vitamin, especially folate, food fortification of grains and cereals is so prevalent. We also don't want to exceed recommended doses of folate in the diet. So we're delivering 600 micrograms. Folate is rather plentiful in the diet. We're still offering a high amount fill in that nutritional gap. And as we mentioned, it's the methylated form, so this is much more readily utilized by the body. It doesn't require that conversion, so we don't need to include as much for that reason as well. We have 100% of the RDA of our easy-to-digest iron for healthy red blood cells. As a woman's pregnant, she's like doubling up her blood volume because of the growing baby, and we want to make sure that there's no iron deficiency concerns there. So 100% of that RDA is really, really fantastic, and I'm so happy that we're able to deliver our food state iron that's so gentle on the stomach, especially for women going through pregnancy when stomach upset and nausea are such great concern. It's also really convenient because it's 2 tablets daily. These are going to be modest-sized tablets. They're kind of like middle road tablets. They're not mini ones. They're not small, but they're not those big horse pills that you see out there. So 2 tablets in the easier to swallow size is really fantastic, and it's an herb-free formulation. So we did get rid of Baby and Me herb-free, but this has no botanicals in it. If you still want some supporting herbs, Baby and Me, the original's there for you, but a lot of women throughout pregnancy are looking for herb-free options, whether they've been recommended by their healthcare practitioner, they know they don't react well with herbs, or maybe they're working with somebody who's having them take herbs in more meaningful potencies, and we don't want any interactions or overlapping concerns there. So this is an herb-free formulation, and I think many women are going to be really happy with it. So those are the 8 products that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. As you can see, it's really a smart idea to address the gaps in your diet with a basic multivitamin. We're very thrilled that we worked with Dr. Low Dog to create this line of multis that's going to really address the current common nutritional gaps that you and I are probably experiencing. Even if we have very clean, plant-based, healthy diets, it's just so hard to get everything in there that we really need. And to address these modern concerns, these true concerns and gaps that everybody is facing, is something we're really happy to be able to provide with this line. So I really appreciate your time today. I think we went through that pretty quickly, so we have plenty of time for questions. And I'll go ahead and turn it back over to you, Derek, so we can get those questions answered for you.
All right, thanks, Abigail. We appreciate all the information and the very well done slideshow as well. So yeah, we've had a couple questions pop up as the presentation was going on. So let me ask you the first one. This one is, are multivitamins better absorbed with or between meals?
That is a great question and an interesting one to address when we're working with our whole food or our whole food complexes, our food state nutrients that I mentioned. We're delivering them in food for you. And the benefit of taking a multivitamin with food is that, if you take just an isolated vitamin, in nature that doesn't come isolated, right? It comes coupled with so many other nutrients, phytonutrients, chemical compounds. That's how it's supposed to be delivered to us. So when you're taking an isolated multivitamin, taking it with food is a really smart way to make sure that you're getting all those helper nutrients, antioxidants, all those great things that are going to help the nutrient do what it needs to do. But the benefit of delivering vitamins and minerals in that whole food complex as we do is that we're giving you that already. So this can be taken any time of day, even on an empty stomach, without worrying about absorption concerns.
All right, great, thank you. One of our customers is asking if MegaFood's ingredients are sourced from within the U.S.
All of our farm partners are from within the United States. We also do work with a lot of botanicals that just aren't indigenous to this country. They don't grow well here. So we certainly do work with trusted growers across the world to get those botanical ingredients. We don't have the climate to grow many of the fantastic herbs that we want to utilize. So regardless of country of origin, we have the same exact purity standards and have an entire purchasing team dedicated to getting the best product in here. And if purity and quality is of concern to you, just to ease that a little bit further, we do operate our own iOS 9001 laboratory facility. And all that means is that we adhere to international purity and quality standards, and we're routinely audited to make sure that our lab and testing facilities are up to snuff. And so we test all raw materials, we test all products as they're being processed, we test all finished goods. And MegaFood has been known to, we've had back orders for about 6 months on some of our best-selling products because we just couldn't get the right nettle in the door. We had tested, it looked great. They'd send us the bigger shipment of it, and it just wasn't what we wanted it to be. So we've had extended back orders, we've discontinued products, and things aren't up to our quality standards. So, so long way to answer your question. We've heard from the U.S. whenever possible. Sometimes that's just not possible, but our purity standards never waver. So I hope that addresses that.
Yeah, I think that was a great answer. Thank you. So this is a sort of complicated question. I'm not sure if we can actually answer this for a customer, but someone is asking, what are some ways you can self-assess your own nutritional gaps?
If you think you have some glaring nutritional gaps, you're having symptoms, you're having concerns, then you certainly want to consult with your healthcare practitioner. You know, if you have some big major issues going on. But if it's just every day, you want to take charge of your health, you're feeling good, but you know you may have some gaps out there, I would recommend taking a look at Dr. Low Dog's book, Fortify Your Life. And even if you have time, go onto our YouTube page, the MegaFood YouTube page. She does a great interview talking about why she wrote this book. And it was really for that reason alone. Her father had been on a certain medication for many years, wasn't told that it can deplete magnesium, and he ended up in the hospital with a near, fatal low magnesium level. And she really wanted to create a resource for people to take charge of their nutrition and say, how do I know I'm getting what I need? What do I look for in a supplement? What are the signs that I'm not getting what I need? So certainly if you have anything glaring and big health concerns, please work with your healthcare practitioner to get those determined. But if you're looking for a great guideline of, what vitamins are important to do, how to get them, what you may be missing, Fortify Your Life is one of the best resources I've ever read. I've got like hundreds of nutritional books in my office and home, and I'm not saying that because we work with her. This is just a fantastic resource. It's not like a diet that someone's trying to get you to adhere to. It's just a resource for you because she wants you to be healthy. So I'd check it out for sure.
Okay, great. Thank you. One of our customers just asked, as opposed to ingredients created in a laboratory, are whole food ingredients more prone to contain heavy metals?
That is a great question, and the answer is yes. They are more prone to heavy metals, not contamination, but naturally occurring heavy metals like lead. That's just ubiquitous in the environment. It's in the soil. Food grows in the soil. It takes it up through its roots. What you really want to be concerned about is like how high levels of it, and lead contamination are the big concerns. So food ingredients are more likely to have higher heavy metals than in a lab, but we test all, there's FDA standards, of course, that's going to keep you safe as long as you purchase from a reputable company. But we're testing all raw materials and all finished goods to make sure that they adhere to all regulations. Often Prop 65 is the regulation we go to because it's the lowest. There's like a zero tolerance level there. So we want to adhere to California's Prop 65 to make sure you're as safe as possible. So yes, in all transparency, yes, whole food nutrients can have higher levels, but still, as long as you're working with a reputable company that's testing and keeping you safe, then there should be no concern.
All righty. Well, thank you. I think we covered all the other questions that customers were asking before registration during the presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up now. Thanks, everybody, for attending. And a big thank you to Abigail, of course, for all of the information. This webinar will be emailed to all registrants, and you can also find it by visiting LuckyVitamin.com and search keyword webinar. Check out all the other cool webinars that we have up there, too. And once you do that, check out MegaFood's website, because if you're like me, you love a good live webcam, and MegaFood has a bunch of them. You can go to their website and click on a bunch of different webcams and watch products being made, orders being filled. So MegaFood has always been at the forefront of transparency, and these live webcams at the MegaFood facility are a really good example of that. So check them out. So that's everything we have for you today. Please see your screen for a special offer, and have a great day.